Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to do some wiring. Stay tuned. Once again guys, if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that push notification bell to stay up to date with this build. With that being said, boys, let's get into it. Alright guys, this episode is just purely wiring. We've got quite a bit to do. We need to run quite a few wires over to this side for all the crank and the cam sensor, and for the boost control, and we've got to wire in the flex fuel, and we've got to run power. So let's get into it. Okay, so I picked up this distribution post today and some little fork terminals, so they will come out of the positives, be fused. I should make this an ignition powered, so it's not always on. The post will be always on, be constant power from the battery, but this one will be triggered by the ignition. So I've got to find that wire, then we can power it up, and everything off that is powered when the ignition is on. Alright, so I've got to find a good location for my post that hopefully I won't drop things on. I think in there. Alright guys, I decided to put the distribution posts underneath the carbon fibre to clean it up a bit. These will get shortened. This side is good, the other side I'm not too happy with, so I'll end up cutting it at that end and shortening it. This is just temporary for now. I will shorten that so it just comes up. But yeah, so we've got normal power to the car now, so pretty much I can start. I should put all the grounds on first for the engine and everything, and then we can start looking at the other wiring. We can find where the ignition or accessories power is coming from, and use that one to power up the other distribution block for the Haltech. Alright guys, so I've put the earth onto the starter. I've moved the wire so it wraps around there for the power. Like I said before, that'll get shortened. That's looking a lot neater. Now the black connector does not want to go in, so I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. I think maybe it's unlocked. Feels like it. Just gonna go inside for a little bit, have a think of my life choices so far. The dogs are scratching at the door. Go in for a little bit and chill. Come out in half an hour or so and keep going with the actual wiring. Yeah, so I've got all of these that I need to wire in, and I think this one is for the flex fuel. So yeah, got a bit to do. Alright, I figured out what the issue was with the connector. See this white section? I actually pulled it out and put it around the other way. So there was no way that it could get in there. I haven't pushed it in yet, but yeah, pretty simple. I just took it off the bracket and just had a look at it. looked at the other side. I'm like, there's no way that's going in. So I felt that was loose, pulled it out, flipped it over. I'm like, yep, that'll work. So I just got to push that down. Alright guys, been at it for a little while, reading diagrams. I got the accessories power from the headlight relays. So this one here comes in, nice big chunky green one. I went back and it went to the ignition. So that was the only one I could find that was like that. So yeah, tapped into it. It's this red one here, not very thick. See how we go. If I need to later on, I will change that. This is going to be powering the Haltech. So yeah, I've still got like the injectors and stuff like that. It's all still stock power. Just all the triggers are through Haltech. So hope that works. It's got a trigger earth and a trigger, so I don't see why not. Well, not all of them have trigger earths. The earth is the trigger. Anyway, cleaned out the boot. My floor's all saggy now. I don't have the spare wheel in there. So I'll have to get another one of them. That was broken anyway. Check the battery. It's sitting at 12.2 volts. The only thing that's always on it is the fuel pump. So I'm going to disconnect the fuel pump because I definitely don't want it to prime. And I'm going to turn the ignition on and just make sure that this is the correct wire. And then I'll disconnect the battery again and get back to it. Alright, the battery is back on. I haven't got the Haltech connected. It's disconnected from the connector, so should be all good. I've got an earth here. Let's test this. Stay still. Maybe my earth isn't the best. Alright. That's better. Not bad for sitting for how many months? So there's a 0.03 maybe, not even. Discharge. Just touching the end of the wire, just make sure it's not constant, and it's not. I'm gonna stick it to the end of the wire. I won't be using that full length anyway. So that is a good earth point there. So I'm just going to go turn the ignition. I've disconnected the fuel pump, so should not prime. Optimus Prime. There we go. That's the inhibitor switch. It does that when the battery's low. Alright, so we've got ourselves a good wire. Alright, turn it off. First time the dash has been on in a long time. Sorry guys. No. Yes, it's pretty messy in here, but you can hardly see it, so too bad. Alright, so we can wire the power to the Haltech now. Sweet! Alright guys, so I've got the power distribution block, fuse block, mounted. Got 2 screws through there, the ignition accessories power onto it. Now, where to start? Alrighty guys, it's nearly 12:30 in the morning and I've got a relay on the back side of this panel. This is for the ECU. So I just need to run the power to the ECU. It'll be that bottom one and an earth. We have the power one over here that I need to attach once I've flipped it over. So it's actually on the back of the screw for the power box. Yeah, getting there. Just need some terminals. I've run out of terminals, some spade terminals. I'll pick them up in the morning. It already is the morning, it's 12:30, but you know what I mean. Yeah, hopefully we can get a lot of this wiring done tomorrow before the fam comes back from the beach. I'm gonna go inside and go to bed. Alright boys, it's the next day. It's about 11 o'clock, starting to warm up. We're taking the poochoses for our walk, so that's me done for the day. So I can get stuck into this. Got the connectors. Need to put it onto this one. That'll connect onto the relay, and then I need to do the injector power off this too. Injector and ignition off this one. Alright guys, just going through the diagrams, wiring diagrams with power supply. I don't think I need to put the ignition coils and the injectors onto the same power source as the ECU. It's already got power. It's already got fused, relayed, whatever it is. So I don't really need to mess with that system. I'll just add in that power for the ECU. That's all it really needs. Comes on at the same time. It'll come on when the obviously the stock ECU powers up. So as long as the stock ECU is powering up, we should have a running car. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to wire those up and we can figure out a ground for the ECU. Now on the diagram for the Haltech it says battery negative, battery ground. Battery's in the boot. Do I need to run a wire all the way up to it? And then that's obviously grounded. And this one here goes to the battery ground. I've just grounded that. I don't see the point in needing to do that. It's chassis grounded. Up here it's chassis grounded. The same ground. It even has, you know, battery is grounded. Yeah, it's the negative, but you know, goes to the same spot. Alright boys, I have done the earth for the ECU. About to do the flex wheel. About to wire the plug on. I thought I needed a 5 volt, but actually needed 12 volt. So we went from there. I used one of the old ignition ones that I cut. Come through here. We got the, what is it? It's a DPI. Got the signal ground and the 12 volt, which it asked for. So we got to pin that up. Hey, I wired it in. Awesome. About to bake something here. I didn't want anything to fall into the catch can. So it took a little while, but I got the hang of it. Definitely have to put that purple section over all the wires before you push all the pins in. Made it a bit difficult, but put it in there. Hopefully they're all still good. We'll find out once we're looking through the ECU though. So that's wired up. I need to do air temp now, but I gotta go pick up something. Alright guys, I'm back and I'm not actually going to be doing anything on this until later tonight. It's lovely outside, so what I'm going to do is actually get the skyline at the back and start to fix that front bumper from when I hit that floodwater and nearly ripped it off. Alright guys, been at it for maybe an hour and I realised I stuffed up. I stuffed up big time. Not now, but when I first put it on, I didn't mount it properly. It's it's sitting a lot better now. Oh my god. So I actually took off all of the body filler that I did. That's the repair there, fabulous. So the big chunk there, I got the jack under it, jacked it up, and it sat really nice. Look at the difference in the mounting locations. I've actually got that one in. Like that's huge. So just working on this side now. That was a huge fail, wasn't it, boys? Yeah, sits a lot better, especially a lot better with the bonnet. So pretty happy. Hopefully I can fix this. I think I'll actually give it a little bit of a different look, sitting properly. Alright guys, back in the garage with the FOS. So, done the wiring for flex fuel. We just need to tape that up. Got some DPOs here, possibly for fans or for maybe water spray kit. Got a 5-volt there. These two here are for the air temp sensor. So here's find where I put that pipe. Alright, so I might actually just do a 1/8 MPT thread straight in and just put the sensor in that way. Because I can't weld this with my welder, so I'll just do that. And eventually when I get a better welder, you know that I'm going to do better piping. Probably end up reverse mounting this and having it going down that way. Be a lot less piping and more room for activities at the back there. Don't know what I'll put up there, but more room. Right, might actually go back inside for a little bit, chill with the missus because they've been away for the weekend. The kids and the missus. The kids are in bed now. And once she goes to bed, I'll come back out and do the air temp sensor. Then we'll start looking at routing the crank and the cam sensors over to this one over here and taking out the airflow meter wiring. Door's vibrating. It's from the fridge. Anywho, yeah, it's Monday night now, nearly 9 o'clock. So I'm going to move across the engine this way. So I'm going to do the air temp sensor. So I'm going to make sure that runs up with the other wiring so it can go into that loom. And I'll probably put it about there. So I'll mark that and I'll drill and tap. Alright guys, we have the air temp sensor threaded in. Then we've got the wires that I need to do. So I might tape up to where I think that it will come out of the loom. Probably I'll make it come out with the knock sensor. Sorry, there. So I'll just do a tape around that. Ooh, sweat a bit. Got it done. I think I was sweating because I was freaking that I dropped one of the pins down there. I never find it. But got it done. Looks good. I'll tape that up until it goes down into the loom, and we'll move across to taking the airflow out, because now that we have air temp, we are going speed density. Obviously we are on Haltech now, so we don't need this. Look at this wire from the airflow meter. I extended it. I had no idea about earthing or shielding. It's probably twist and tape, or, and look how oil soaked that is too. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna trace that back to here. Obviously we've got everything else there. So what I'm going to do with this connector, this one has the cam and crank sensor in it. I'm not going to de-pin it, but I'm going to cut it further back and join it with crimps, because I don't have pins for that. So makes sense. Does to me. Alright guys, so I've cut the airflow meter out. I've heat shrinked and I've taped them up. I cut the power one close to the join, and that joins to the boost solenoid. So that should be fine. As you can see here, it joins the boost solenoid and then it goes off. So that should be fine like that. The other four, so I've got a signal ground. I've chopped that, heat shrunk and taped. And the other three that go back to the ECU, I'm going to go D-pin. So I'm going to go D-pin right now. Alright boys, just D-pinned those four. Well, three of them were in this little connector here. There's not much on that one now. And then what was the other one? 135. So second pin in. Pretty sure that was the trigger or sensor. Anywho, what's next? Alright guys, so just to let you know, these wires are just in the loom. They're not doing anything. They're not connected to anything at the other end. So when the day comes that I decide to strip this loom down, these can just easily come out. So yeah, at the moment they're just going to sit there. I'll tape them up so they're not, so I can't touch anything, just in case. I think we got this bad boy that we need to connect. This was connected to the boost controller that I had in the glove box. This is actually the boost solenoid. That needs to be connected to something, but I don't know what I'm going to connect it to on the Haltech just yet. I will figure that out though, boys. Haltech's looking like spaghetti. Yeah. Oh, back into the engine bay. Alright guys, I got a little bit confused before when I was stripping back the airflow meter, because on the same loom is this connector that goes to the knock sensor and the crank and cam. Can you see where I got confused? I said 3 sensors. It's too shielded. Alright. But get this. The crank and the cam share the same shielding. So the 4 wires here to a crank and to a cam. This single one is the knock sensor. As you can see, single one. So white, black, crank, and the red and the green cam. Yeah. Should I just go from the ECU with the Haltech stuff? Two wires each. The Haltech are 4 core, so I just need to figure out which one's which, if it's just a negative and a positive or what. Alright boys, just looking at the Haltech wiring. Over here it's got the crank and the cam sensors. So as you just saw, just here, both crank and cam only have 2 wires, right? So just looking here, X represents not being used. So here on the Hall effect, or I don't know why I thought it was Hall effect, we've got a 12 volt positive. So we don't have that. So we are a reluctor. And that's exactly what the sensors look like too. So we just have crank trigger positive and crank trigger negative. So that should be easy enough. So these 2 bad boys need to be cut, and I need to find where they are here. I might leave a bit of length on these. Obviously it's grounded to the ECU, right? But we need to connect the ground, the shielding ground. Right, shield cables should only be at one end of the cable only. But I really should send these out into the engine bay. That'd be best. And then just connect them just back from the connector, because I don't want to break the shielding until I really need to. It'd probably be the best way to do it. I need to find where I can send it out. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Now, why did I have these going over here? 5 volt and I've lost it. Signal ground. Why would I do that? Alright boys, so I got it through that grommet. So what I'm going to do is go up instead of following this one, because we are getting a bit of heat here. Plus this is a loom that has everything in it. So I'll just follow that one, go down, and then we'll be here. And I'm just going to get to here. Alright guys, I taped it up. You can see it. So this one here comes up. I've done a loose cable tie on that because I might pull it back through. And I'm just following that conduit there. And that is that one there. So we're going to go to this one. That used to be, I think, up on the bracket up here. That's why it's got a bit of length. And here's my one. Pretty damn close. So I've got a 5-volt signal and a ground signal. I'm just going to leave there just in case I want to add some things in over here. And that one there is for front O2 sensor. Maybe. I don't know just yet what I'm doing with O2 sensors. I'll probably just end up getting a CAN extension and running a Haltech O2 wideband. Alright, so we are ready to do this. So I'm going to strip this back to where they join, cut at that join, give me the most amount of wire, and yeah, then we'll do these two. Well, I didn't have to go far. It's starting to get the Subaru goopy gum for the sealant, so I'm going to chop it about there. Alright boys, just looking at the wiring diagram, looking at the colours, we have orange and blue, and we have orange, we have white and blue, and white on the engine side of the plug. Then we have white, black, red and green. So as you can tell, we have orange and orange, we have white and white. So I'm going to make sure that either positive or negative are on the orange and on the white. So if I do get it wrong, they're both going to be wrong, and I can just switch them. If that makes sense, instead of having one right and one wrong, they'll either both be right or they'll both be wrong. I think we can just change the negative and positive around. Anyway, yep. Alright boys, I've done the crank. So there's heat shrink on the two that I didn't use. The cut, heat shrunk. The earth, the shielding earth is cut right back to the sheath. And then I've crimped and heat shrunk the joints, and then I've got a big heat shrink and went over all four and the connector and everything, and then I've taped it up. So pretty insulated there. Hopefully it's all right, otherwise I'll have to redo it all. But we're going to do the cam one now, then I might call it a night. Alright guys, so the Haltech is now wired into the crank and cam sensors. So I'm going to go into the stock ECU and depin these guys. I've trimmed it back to here for now. It's just thinned out quite a bit. Yeah, we'll get back in there, depin them, and call it a night. Okay, so those sensors are depinned on the ECU. So tomorrow I'm going to rewire the injectors. So just pretty much chopping these plugs off and hardwiring them to the stock wiring, wherever it's gone. There. Cool. Yeah, easy. Alrighty guys, it's the next day and I put an order in for some more AN lines for the fuel there. For the water, we're going to just run a barb, so AN to a barb, that'll go to the GT35. That one will go down and under to the water pump. Coolant at the moment, I'm just going to be running just heater hose pretty much. So I've already got a barb on the other side. I did get some 6AN fittings for this side of the water though, because it's a bit of a weird one. So I've got 6AN braided, so I can do that. That's easy. But yeah, the Mishimoto sandwich plate came in today as well. Oop. So I can put that on. We can put a filter on. The only issue is I don't have the lines or the oil cooler. So yeah, I could potentially just use, they need orb fittings. I could use the ones off the catch cans and just loop it back on itself, just for like initial startup to build some pressure and whatnot. Or I can just put my old sandwich plate on and then not worry about it until I can get an oil cooler, because it might be a little while before I'm actually driving and getting some decent heat into this. But yeah, so with the injectors, for now I will just plug them in this way. Then once I know that it will fire up, I'll neaten it up. I'll shorten that and cut the plugs off and crimp them so it's a nice wiring loom. So yeah, this one is broken, so that one just slides on and off. So yeah, so I'm going to end this episode here. I've got about 50 clips to go through for this episode, which is about twice as much as normal. But next episode I will most likely start to work on the up pipe, get the GT35 on. Well, I need the dump pipe. I need a still welder bung in for that. Also, I've been thinking about how I'm gonna run the O2 sensor. I do have, where is it? This wiring here. That's supposed to go to a narrow band. Oh, I've got to work out boost control as well. So, yeah. Now that I've got potential power, I can probably actually get onto the laptop and into the actual Haltech 550 and do the software update to the new system and everything, and then I can see what I can actually select. Now I do have the 750 harness. Now I'm not sure if those extra wires go to nothing, or potentially it could be there and I could add more things in. I'm not sure, so I'm going to have to check that out. But anyways, that's me done. So if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next episode. Bye.